Hello, this is Samuel Durbridge, or Samuel Loomis, newly awakened. It has come to this moment, finally. Today, I decided I'm going to read it. It's Thursday, February 20th, 2020. And so it's kind of interesting that it's 02 2020. So it's 2/20/2020. So there's 2, and then 0, 2, 0, 0, or 0. Yeah, so 02 would be February, and then you got 20, so it'd be 02, and then 20, and then you have 20, 20, and then 20 again. So it's very interesting because it starts with a 0 starting it all, and then ending it all. So that is interesting that today is a 0 and a 0. 0 at the beginning and 0 at the end of that date. Isn't that interesting? That means whatever's between is basically anything that precedes after it is doubled, but then since something precedes at the end, it's all zeros. Basically is how I've heard it before. Doesn't mean that that's the way it is, but it's just there's a lot of, so today is just a 0 day, and 0 is eternal. It's a nothingness, but isn't nothing. It's just a circle form of a new start. Is how I would look at it. It's an end and a start. So this is a new beginning and a new end and a new beginning. So today is the day of new beginnings and endings. So endings and new beginnings. And that's how I see these numbers being put together. So I think it's a very impressive form to do that today. So start off reading my book. So this is going to be on page 15. My book of Alien Perceptions of Possible Truths. My motivational journal explaining extraterrestrial alien perceptions, time travel, dimensions, brain science, and the law of attraction. Samuel Durbridge. So this is the chapter introduction. And then it's just a few pages. It goes from page 15 to 18. And then the book overview goes a little bit longer, and it goes all the way to whenever chapter 1 is, which is on page 30. What? Nope. I think it's 20 something. There we go. On 29 is when chapter 1 starts. So between pages 15 and 28. So let me go over that. Now I'm going to commentary on it as I read it and explain it. For those who have the book or would like the book, you can go to Amazon.com. You can find the ebook or the hardbound or softbound. If you want to read along with me as you do this, you can go on there. You're welcome to go look at it. I tried to put it as low as I could for the ebook for this, but I also did it for that. But that's up to you. You can go on there and do that. You don't have to, but that's, people ask me, where do I find this? I say, well, I have a website you can go to that explains and has links to it, but I also tell you, you can just, you can search my name, Samuel Durbridge, and you'll find it on Amazon. And the thing that it shows is the ebook one has a choice of 2 different ones. It allows you to do the ebook or the hardbound. The softbound is a separate one, but I think the hardbound went through a different company that did the hardbound, and the softbound is done through Verbante, where I started all of this. So if you want the hardbound, it goes through some other form of company, but it's all started with Verbante. And then it went to Jet Launch, and Jet Launch worked with me on these other companies. The ebook is through the audiobook connection to Kindle and connected to Amazon. So it's an Amazon One audiobook. So you can go on Amazon and read it. So I would like to change the book and do a new book until the funds are manifested, or to me have already been, then we can make it. So if you want it to be, think as though it already is, and then it will be, and it will be a new form. But this is, people have already manifested this right now by having me do my own audiobook to correct any problems done to the book. But if you want a real book that's got the corrections, then either manifest it into being by contributing or calling me, getting a hold of me, and you can call me at 801-499-4494. I do block calls, and I do record all calls that come through, and I do do a lot of things for my own protection and awareness of things. So I just want you to be aware of that. And I'm also a minister of the ulc.org, but I don't administer in the way others do. I actually do have a collar that ministers or whatever wear. I do have what's called a dickie, but I don't have a shirt or necessarily that. I just have what I feel I can wear, but I don't necessarily need to wear that. I only wear that for those that want me to. If I'm officiating a wedding or something and they want me to have that officiation scene, then I'll have that for them based on their belief of what they feel is needed. But I don't really need to wear the priest collar unless it's required by law for me. I did it just in case it's needed and to respect those that want that, so that people know who the priest is. It's just to identify I'm the priest, or I'm the minister that's officiating, so people know who he is. It's just a kind of, this is who they are. Look for the one with the collar. Look for the one with that. It's just to get people to know that I'm the one that is going to do that, and I'm the one that knows how to do that and is allowed by law to marry based on choosing to get those credentials to do so. It has nothing to do with belief system to me. I wear it for more of, hey, look, he's someone that believes he can heal. That's all that I see it as and use it as. It's not really to associate myself to the history of what it is. I see it differently. I feel like it's just part of being a minister, is having the minister acquire to what I feel okay to do. But I have a Jedi robe and stuff, different than having a minister robe and things. But maybe eventually I'd do that if people wanted me to, but I would need to have the funds to do it as well, because it does cost to get those things. I don't really like borrowing other people's things, because I prefer to do things that I'm not feeling like I'm going to cause harm to it. Because if I'm borrowing it, I want to make sure I have the funds to cover whatever is cost if something happens to it. I don't want to be indebted to anybody or have strings attached in any way. I've already dealt with enough abuse that way in life, and I've been pushed in that direction, even if my family didn't mean to, and others. So I know how inappropriate to me that is, because it was traumatic to me, and it's traumatic to others, and it just doesn't feel right. And I understand how it makes you feel. And I don't want my family to feel hurt by me being hurt by that, but them lacking that knowledge of my feelings. I forgive them and love them, but them not understanding the pain that was there is hurtful. But I don't want them to have to suffer in pain because I did that. I just want others to understand that that's why I'm not doing it, because it didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel good. What I do want to do is manifest and pray and create abilities just by meditating and saying it and doing it with someone that's willing to do that with me unconditionally, regardless if they believe it or not. If they believe that I believe it will work, then why wouldn't they want to try it? And I think a lot of it is out of fear or worry that they're not showing appreciation to what they think should be done. But you do a lot of other things contrary that are worse than doing something that's meant to be peaceful and healing. But I think they're just afraid that if they do it, they're doing it towards a being that isn't, or that another being might associate itself to it. And I don't agree with that belief if that's why people are choosing not to. For me, it's a peaceful being will show up because we're focused on the peaceful being part of that healing. No evil being. Okay? And so that's how I look at it when it comes to energy healing focuses. So if you want to heal and you want to manifest things, you want to reach out to someone that's willing to do that freely with you, you can call me and talk to me, and we can do it over the phone. If we meet, I would have to have the feelings to be comfortable to do that and have backup of safety. And I don't know if I would do it. I've already done things where I've trusted it, and if it goes badly, I may not do it again. And I would prefer to do it in places that I feel safe doing it. But it doesn't mean that people shouldn't keep asking me, because it might be someone might be wrong and it might not be safe for me, and I'll just have to put other things in place to be safe for me and anybody I see again if I go in that direction. But again, if I try it out again. But it doesn't, but you'd have to understand, if I do that again, it will be based off of my choice of comfort, and I will want to help you. If that's the only way you feel it'll work for you, I want to do what I can, but I don't want to do it if it's caused me harm. And if you still want me to do it, even though you know that I feel uncomfortable about it, then I will know that you may not understand what I went through, and I forgive you for not understanding. And I would still hope that you would do it in other ways. I'd still give you other options that I'm still willing to do until I feel comfortable doing the other. But if you feel like it's the only way to do it, you'd have to understand what I would done before and what happened before, and I would tell you what happened and why I'm not doing it. I won't hide it from you. I'll tell you what happened before and why I don't feel comfortable doing it that way. And but it doesn't mean that I think you would do it. It means that it was done, and that's why I don't do it, because they did it in the same kind of way that you may have done it, and so that abuse is there. And so I have to be safe with the energy that we do it in, for me and for you, because if I go, it'll be a huge choice. And if I do it, I would hope you would respect that huge choice if I choose, because it's going to be very traumatic for me to allow myself to go through that if I've gone through stuff. So I do feel a little bit cautioned about it. But anyway, so page 15, chapter introduction. So chapter introduction, alien agenda explained, combined with many motivational topics for solving life's most desired dreams and others everywhere and forever, while also explaining both supernatural and spiritual topics that solve all life and spiritual questions. So starting now, I'm going to start reading the chapter overview info on page 15, and this one's going to go till page 18. And then book overview will start on page 19. And that will end on page 28, and it will start chapter 1 on page 29. Now, I don't know if I'll do chapter 1 in this recording. For now, I'm going to do the chapter introduction and book overview. I don't know how long this will be. My other ones were 3 hours. I will go by what I feel from my heart. If you want it to be short, it will be short, but we need to make it as thorough and understanding as possible. So I will not apologize for it being long or short. Whatever I choose it to be will be because I'm following my heart. It may not be 3 hours. It might be a little less. I'm hoping it'll be less, but I want it to be as thorough as needed. So if I feel inspired to say anything, I've already said enough in my others, so I don't feel like I need to say any more unless I feel I do. Plus, I got other recordings through that I'll probably post after I posted this book. I just want this book to be out, but I'm not urgently about putting it out. It needs to be thoroughly told in the way that I feel now. I may do a new whole reading if I have changed my viewpoint after doing all of these recordings and putting them on as a book. I may do a whole new representation of it if my beliefs change. Or I might do a whole new thing. But I'm actually making it more general now, so it probably won't change that much. It will be, if it is, it's going to be more of a peaceful awareness of healing, and that will just be in another recording otherwise. But this is just for me to show my awarenesses of what I've seen and witnessed now. My witnessing's changed a lot, daily and aware of everything. But I still hold to the same idea. I question everything and I'm aware of everything, and I act like all of those things are possible. I just see it in a different manner. I see it more of whatever the individual wants to see it is why it will be seen in that way. Because of different timelines and things like that. And I'll explain that the best I can later. And I may never ever explain it the best way I need to. So here we go. So page 15, chapter overview info, and let's start reading. So first chapter, so basically I talk about the chapters, it looks like. So first chapter starts off with my life chapter, then chapter 2 is my alien experience explained, and recorded from September 28th, 2015 to present date, which is the last day I finished writing this book fully. Now, before I read on, I'm going to start with on the second sentence in this paragraph, or I don't know if you would call it a paragraph for some of you. To me, it's just the way that I wrote back then and still kind of do. I have flaws, and I'm okay with those flaws. I do what I feel until I'm healed. When I'm healed, maybe I'll do better at grammar, maybe I won't. I won't worry either way. I'll do what I feel I need to, and I'm not going to apologize because I'm following my path of what I feel is okay. But I will try to do respectful for those that need it. I just hope people will talk to me about things before making any choices about what they think I'm telling them to do, or if they think I'm telling them to do anything, because I'm not. I'm about explaining what I feel needs to be explained from my heart, but I don't want people to do anything other than what they feel is right for them. But don't do anything that harms others or harms yourself. I'm about healing and peace, not following ideas of causing harm to others or yourself, okay? I want you to be peaceful and heal. That's what I'm about. So, basically, what I'm about to read here in this introduction chapter, chapter overview info, is just overviewing what the chapters are going to be, but they may be out of order. So I apologize if they are. I wrote some weird things in this book because I wasn't sure how I was going to put together, and I was hoping an editor would help do it and put it together and correct it. But I think they didn't want to change what I put there. I don't think they understood what I wanted. And even if they did, they couldn't do what I asked because maybe they did it the way they did so that I would come back to them and have them correct it, but then it would have made them cost more, or they were just confused, or I just didn't explain it enough to them. Whatever the reason, maybe it was because they wanted more money. I have no idea. People play games like that. I don't think it was. I don't know, and I'm not going to try to pretend to know. I just know that this is the way that it was put together. And whatever the purpose, don't worry about it. And if you're worried about it, and you want to talk about things and focus on healing and focus on trying not to worry about things, you can talk to me. I can talk you through on how I chose not to worry, and we can maybe discuss things. Now, I'm not a therapist, but I am a minister, and I have been to therapy school, and I have been told by therapists when I've gone to therapists that I think like a therapist, plus a higher form told me keep doing what I'm thinking and feeling because I have a really good heart. I'm a very impressive person. That's why the higher beings and other secret societies get stumbled by me a lot. They freak out because I know tons. That's why when I bring up my story more, the more disclosure happens. So let's get down to it. And don't be worried how long it takes me to do it, because the more I talk and the more I explain in the fullness that I feel is needed, the more we can get disclosure known. So it's coming here, everybody. Disclosure is going to happen because of my witnessing and a willingness to speak out. Oh, I'm excited. This is so cool. And that's how it feels. You want to feel like happy and joyful and excited. This is awesome. Okay, so here we go. And then if it doesn't, then I start a new approach and I do it again to bring more disclosure. So the more I speak and the more I adapt and change it, the more they try to come at me or do it, the more I come back and protect it. If I die, great. Then someone else will take up the slack of what I wasn't able to, and maybe they'll do better than I did. But someone or some beings are trying to stop me from communicating to all of you or to there. But I'm just putting this out there, saying what needs to be said, and we're good to go. So then chapter 3 is my alien recording chapter of my sleeping 3 days after my experience and research info mixed in to explain what could be going on. Yeah, that recording chapter, I don't know if I still have the recording. It may be somewhere. Someone may have the recording. Maybe a higher form held on to the recording. Maybe some other agency stole the recording and kept it or copied it. Some good person has it, or some bad person trying to act like they're good has it. But regardless, a good person will end up having it if it exists anywhere. And that's my focus and hope. But I'm explaining that it happened even without the proof. It's good to explain what you had proof of that you listened to. So the proof is me. I'm the proof. What I saw is the proof. What I witnessed is the proof. A recording may sound like proof to you, but it could be also seen and heard differently or altered to be seen differently. So I think eyewitness accounts, even if it's just one person, could be truth. So don't say it is or isn't. It's going to be up to you. But if it is true, you better hold on to it, even if someone tries to debunk and say it's not, or even if someone comes across as acting like them saying it isn't. If anybody says that they're me, or if I come across saying something altered from this, it could be a trick of someone else trying to be me, or a clone, or some other being. I want that to be clear, because I'm saying what I witnessed honestly, but I don't know what it was or how it was or if it was a deception or not, but I know that it happened. And I don't know if it was military or alien. I think it could have been both. I don't know. All I know is it was super tech and it did happen in some form of reality. And anybody that tries to say otherwise is because they changed the reality to make those things not be anymore. Somehow took out what was, and we forgot what was, but soon we'll remember it, regardless what reality or what we get to. Either that or it will be recreated again for trying to delete what was. We'll just get back to the same, or we'll create something hopefully better, and that's what I'm always about. So if it's not and it was bad, then great, it's no longer. But ignoring that it was and ignoring that it did happen, or saying it didn't happen when it did happen, is not right. So some of the things we think or could occur, we need to have knowledge of it for that occurrence, for recognition that people may not be insane. It just may be something that happened, and we need to acknowledge that as a possibility, but not to keep us trapped, but to keep us more aware and healing and love, and not to put people down in their weirdness, but to handle it in more of a healthy awareness way rather than freaking out over it. Even if it sounds strange, or as long as we don't overly emotionally get affected by it, but we do it in an emotional, caring, healing way, not evil, hateful, enslavement control way. Um, that's how I see it for me. And you may define this differently in your way of perception, but I'm seeing it in the way that I feel is evil, and that's by controlling people's minds, thoughts, and feelings. Let them have their own feelings of healing, creation, and acknowledge the pain, and then create a better form that they want that would be good for their life path, even if you don't agree with that life path. But we need to get more people to be with each other, to help each other, that relate. That's what we need. Because then people will finally fully be able to heal when we have people willing to heal and not just say they want to and act like they want to. And so most of the people I've talked to or brought this up to, they agree, but then they don't do the healing with me, or don't act or say, hey, let's do the healing. Even, because they don't feel like they want to. They have a different focus of what they think works. But I think that they're just on a path they're choosing until they understand the pain I understand. They're not going to know how important the healing to do for them and others is, even if they don't think it's necessary. But that's their choice. But I know there are people that do. And if there aren't, I do, and I would hope that there's someone like me that's willing to at least do it with me in the way I want to, even if they don't understand it, because that's the type of love I want. And if they're willing to provide that love and take that chance with me safely and appropriately in the way that I see it in, and allow that, then they are people of true unconditional love. If you think you're unconditional love, and yet you're not doing that in the way that I think unconditional love is, you're an unconditional love that's a different form of unconditional love, not the form I'm looking for. So if you feel like you can do what I can or relate with me fully, then why don't you just do it? Because that's what would be best for me, and I would want to do the same for you in the way I feel comfortable doing it. But it's because people don't feel comfortable. They're being pushed off from doing it. And they may think they're doing it from their own free will, but it could be someone stopping them from controlling it. But then people could think that about me too. But I'm doing it because of the pain I'm going through, because of the fracture in my lower back and other things that I feel is there happening. And until that goes away and my focus can be the way that you think my focus should, we need to heal and be aware of the focus that's going on so we can correct it. So anyway, so all of these things I'm mentioning might be out of order or explained, and some of it might be not exactly what I think. So here we go. I'll start with third sentence, I then will start. So I then will start off with my alien info section, chapter 4. Then next one after that will be my mind and thought and experiments that have been done, chapter 5. And then timelines, energy, understanding, Mandela effect, and alien time travel, as well as dimension, universe, and theories of alien and planet understanding, such as every planet has an inner planet, which makes sense, which is chapter 6. Then will be religious beliefs, chapter 7. All of those chapters will have mixed in with them info on law of attraction, understand religious value understandings, as well as alien connections, as well as my own opinion and thought and reasoning and comments that also go over info of me being an empath. After chapter 7 will be the empathic and other abilities, chapter 8. Then there will be the concept, chapter 9. Then, and why it's important to learn to control one's emotions without emotions controlling you and others around you, chapter 10. And finally, chapter 11 is the law of attraction chapter, which has a lot of good info. And after that, chapter 12, the straight to the point chapter. And I will finish off with chapter 13, hope and overview chapter, with my own hope and info for our dreams, future, and invitation of meditation for what we all need, want, or even desire for good of our future and those all around us, including both the seen and unseen beings throughout time, eternity, timeline, and everything. Well, this is cool. So if you wish to stop now and go to your chapter of preference, I recommend the Law of Attraction section made simple in the best way I can explain it, as well as the to the point section that goes over everything I explained in every chapter. I do ask you to condense to what I feel is important mostly. Let's see. So I mixed in with info on law of attraction, understanding religious value understandings, as well as alien connections. Sorry, I'm going to the top of page 16 because I feel like I may have skipped. My mind kind of zoned out there. I feel like someone's trying to stop me from saying what I need to say. But I'm not worried about it. I'm just acknowledging and recognizing. So if I repeat this, I apologize. Mixed in with info on law of attraction understanding, religious value understandings, as well as alien connections, as well as my own opinion and thought and reasoning and comments that also go over info of me being an empath. So I feel like I'm an empath. I notice things and witness from the heart, but I'm more than what empaths say that they are. I don't get affected by emotions like I used to because I finally became authentic. I finally did what I felt I needed to, that my heart wanted me to do. And now I'm on the path of doing what I feel my heart wants to. And I'll know if I'm on the right path when my heart and mind clear up more and notice. And I'm also being inspired more and protected more, even if it doesn't seem like it at times. But I have noticed it. And I'm more insightful and recognize things that others don't. So after chapter 7 will be the empathic and other abilities chapter 8. Then there will be the concepts chapter 9. Then and why it's important to learn to control one's emotions without emotions controlling you and others around you is chapter 10. Yeah. So that is emotional chapter. It's 10 to my knowledge. And finally, chapter 11 is the law of attraction chapter, which is a lot of good info, and after that, chapter 12, the straight to the point chapter. So there we go. I will finish off with chapter 13, and I do kind of finish off with that, but there's some other things I'll say that it says. And then there's something after it that I think I may need to say again. I will finish off with chapter 13, Hope, an overview chapter with my own hope and info for our dreams, future, and invitation and meditation for what we all need, want, or even desire for good of our futures and those all around us, including both the seen and unseen beings throughout time, eternity, timelines, and everything. I'm going to say something like this. Anybody that is promoting any idea of meditation and coming together, any belief systems or communities like Unity and other belief systems that are a combination of all religions coming together as part of a community of belief that is safer than going to their own religion belief systems, I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay? If you believe in meditation and if you believe in manifesting things, I know the way to do it. You may be doing it the way you feel is doing it, and being drawn to these communities may be helping you in your way of supporting with them because you want a support system with that. And that's great. If you feel like you need to be part of that, that's up to you. I welcome you to reach out to me as well if you feel like you need another support system on top of the support systems you're doing. Make sure that the other support systems are okay with you doing that and that you're fine with it. Or if you don't feel like you need to get their approval, then great. That's awesome that you're welcome to reach out to me. I don't want to step over any other religions, okay? Now, I'm not going to lie about what I feel about the religions either because of the things I've noticed them do to me and others. Because I'm against abuse of all kinds. And if you feel like I'm doing anything that comes across to you as that kind. I'm not that type of person. And anything that I am affected or come across as, if it doesn't feel comfortable to you, I want you to not be part of it then. Don't be around me. Don't be there, because I have been affected and I have to express things in the way that I do. But it's not to be pushed on you or to be meant to be getting you to do anything that you feel is not right for you. I actually really want you to go by your heart. I understand how it feels to be coerced or messed with by a religion or a family unit or people who are supposed to love you and care about you, but only want to be there in the way that they feel they want to be there in, rather than the way that you feel you need. I would love my family to meditate and pray with me in my way of prayer. As long as they're not trying to push their belief system on me. If they want to pray and take the time to pray with me, care about me, and take the time and patience, where they don't get distracted by their children or whatever, then and they have their children, at babysitting and stuff, so that their focus is on me and us to heal and manifest, or having the children that are open to being ready to focus and do that with us, that want to, not forcing them to or getting them to understand it. And if you don't feel like it's the right approach, or you've tried to see how they feel, then you can still come back to me without them. If you feel like it didn't work that time, or we feel like they weren't ready at that time, then let's do it without them in that way too. Whatever you feel will work. It's got to be without any form of distraction of another trying to put that energy away, or where you feel like you have to focus or be focused on something. This is about getting your focus off of any kind of thing in your life, your children, others, when you have time to do that. So where they're being babysat or being in an area where they're not distracting you or concerning you, so that you can feel okay with what happens. If something happens where a distraction still occurs, where they call, or some babysitter or whoever calls you to get you away from doing it, I want you to be with what you need to be at that time. And when you're ready, we can do it again. It doesn't matter how much time we do it in or how short it is. We did enough, and then we can finish it off later. But the more attentive focus we can do on the healing focus practices, the better. So there we go. So so I will finish off with chapter 13, and then we have an open overview chapter of good of futures and those all around us, including both the seen and unseen being throughout time, eternity, timelines, and everything. Now I'm on page 16 for anybody that got lost. I understand if you got lost, that was me talking about things, and I know that people will. So I'm going to do this now, and then I'll tell you what page I'm on, and then I'll tell you what sentence I'm going to read in the paragraph. So it's the middle of this page that says, "So if you wish," and this is on page 16. You'll find it. It's like the second paragraph in that page. And it's after talking about chapter 13. And then it's below that, it's after that paragraph. So if you wish to stop now and go to your chapter of preference, I recommend the Law of Attraction section, made simple in the best way I can explain it. So the Law of Attraction section is good. The emotional chapter, I do recommend that as well. And so, as well as to the point section that goes over everything I explain in every chapter. Now, everybody tells me, but you said it this way, and you said it this way. Why are you changing it? Why are you changing it? Well, guess what? I'm changing it because I have different feelings about it now. And I'm not going to lie that my feelings are never going to change. They're going to change. Things are going to happen. I'm not going to declare like my church declared, even if I have. That was when I was part of that church. I'm not doing that anymore with who I am. And if I do, I apologize if that happens. But it's not meant to. And what I'm really meaning right now is that I focus on the idea that I adapt and change to my beliefs because of things I witness and experience. And things are changing, and I do it for my safety and others' safety as well. But I'm not going to hide things that I think is unsafe to hide. Okay? So if I am safe, it's going to be about things that I think are not dangerous to hide. But I do my best not to hide anything that I don't feel need to be hidden. If it's something that people want to relate with. But if you feel like I'm not saying something that I might be able to relate with you with that will help you, or you wonder if I will, then ask me. I may know more than what you think I know, or what you've been told I know, or what other people tell you I'm about. The person that knows who I'm about the most is me, no one else. Others may be hinting to some degree about me, and if they say any good things about me, great. But if the good things they say about me may not be my major good things that I am about, I may be even better than what they say I am, or what they feel I've been. The fact is everybody's going to see me in the light that they choose to see me in. What I am about is just trying to be healed and wanting others to be healed too. And I'm going to have pain and issues, just like everybody does at times. It's going to come across that way. But what I'm doing now is to heal that. So here we go. So everything I explain, as well as the to the point section that goes everything I explain in every chapter. I do ask you to condense to what I feel is most important to know, as well as I check out the concept section of brain thought info. So those who wish to know more about my alien experience, read on after this chapter. If not, then finish below and move on to the chapters you feel drawn to. Either way, I thank you for taking your time to learn what I have learned and what I think many others have not explained as well as I feel I needed to for those who think similar like me or just want a new perspective. And I'm going to have a lot of perspectives in here that are different than what I have now. But some of the things I have in here, I do agree with, and I may even expound upon it on more intel about that belief. Because I do spawn off of knowledge of all religions, even if some of them are fake stories, as possibilities. But I have been irritated so much with the negative focusings that they've all brought up. Even my own negative things that I brought up, I don't like. And I tell you I don't like it. But it's how I focus. It's how I see it. And I'm a lot more straight to the point about that. Not really straight to the point as much as they seem to be in their own viewpoints. But I'm a little bit more transparent about it. I tell you it over and over. And my thoughts are, I just want to meditate and manifest the desired life. I just want my dream life to be the way I want it to be. The way I explain it in chapter 11 is not the way I want it to be. It's the way that I wanted it or thought it needed to be based on what I was taught or felt at the time. I'm not that individual anymore. I was, and if it comes that way, great. It comes that way because it needs to come that way. But it doesn't have to. It can come in whatever way I feel most comfortable. And it's going to be better in the way that I explained it. Even if it comes in this way, it's going to be better than the way that it says it will. It's always 10 to 1,000 times better. That's what's great about manifesting your desires. They come a lot better than the way you originated it as. Even better than any adaptation you bring on that's even better than it. Will be better than that also. It's always better. It's so awesome. It's so peaceful. So here we go. So I do ask you to condense to what I feel is most important to know, as well as I check out the concept. So what I'm saying is I do hope that you look at it in my point of view, or try, even if you never get my point of view. You can talk to me about it, work with me, but that's what I think I meant by you to condense, but that's what I'm taking from it now. That's what I mean by it now, even if it wasn't meant to be that way. I was talking about it in a weird way, and now I'm going to go this way because this is the way that I feel is a better approach to it. It's a better process of it. I check out the concept section of brain thought info. So those who wish to know more about my alien experience, read on after this chapter. If not, then finish below. and move on to chapter you feel drawn to. I agree with that. Go to the chapter you feel drawn to, but don't miss out the emotional chapter because you might learn something amazing from that. And the Law of Attraction, I hope you read because it is something that's great. But that's up to you. I would like you to. It's got some good info, but you don't have to. I think it would really help a lot more than most would, and I hope people take my insight. Good because it's from the heart, and because that information has some good insight. Even if I don't do some of those things anymore, there's some techniques that I said I would do that I'm not really doing, and maybe I'll try to start them up again, but I can't guarantee that I'll stay with it. And I kind of say that in here, just in a roundabout way. That's what I'm all about. I always do roundabout stuff. I don't do that as much. I still do, but not as much. I'm more about let's just get this done and over with and heal and correct it. So either way, I thank you for taking your time to learn what I have learned and what I think many others have not explained as well as I feel I needed to for those who think similar like me or just want a new perspective. And I think this new perspective of this commentary of my reading my book that I, the author, Samuel Durbridge, am doing is important. So, okay, so here we go. So this whole book, so this is the last paragraph on page 16, says this whole book was written so that I can provide help for myself by getting all of these thoughts and experiences out of my head, as well as to help those that many of us have no idea how to reach. And I hope this will help those out there in all worlds and beyond time and space that really need another person that can express experiences that they themselves have or are going through, and to do my best and figuring out a way through belief and finding other answers on solutions for them and for us to keep on creating and becoming all our whole soul spirit can be and more. That's awesome. So that is page 16. I'm on page 17, but I like that. The most I like about that is what I said at the beginning of that, or what I said about time and space and other worlds. I hope this will help those out there in all worlds and beyond time and space that really need another person that can express experiences that they themselves have or are going through. And to do my best and figuring out a way through belief and finding other answers on solutions for them and for us to keep on creating and becoming all our whole soul spirit can be and more. See, I was still opening my heart at that time when I wrote this book. I wasn't fully authentic, but I still wanted what I am now. And I still want more than what I am now. I still want to be the fullness that I know I can be now. I'm more open and hoping that it is. If it's not, I just want to be done. I just want rest. I want to be doing that. But I feel like I need, and I feel like I should tell people about it because I want to, not because I have to or that I feel spiritually in any way, because I don't really feel that what I'm doing is out of some agreement to get into a heaven or anything. I feel like I'm doing it because I'm ready for that manifested life to be, and I'm ready to give other people that freedom that I got. And I am hoping, and this is what I feel will create it. And if it isn't, at least it will help others so that they can. So I'm more doing it out of a selfless reason now, rather than a selfish reason. I'm doing it for me and for others. So I am doing it for some form of selfish, but it's not selfish. It's more of full self. I'm doing it for me to be healed and to have fullness. And I want you to have the fullness of your choosing. And I'm not doing it for any religious purposes or way, even though it sounds a little bit religious, but it's not meant to. It's what I've learned and what I feel is right to me. I say similar words that I was learned in religious learnings by growing up in a religion, but I'm using those words now for a different purpose because I see them differently. And I'm not bringing up to get you back into a church or to get you into a church or to get you to recognize my way of thinking now. But it answers a lot of questionings that I have had of what I want to be and what fullness of self is now to me. I still use the same kind of word phrases because those word phrases mean different things than they did. They mean more to me now than they did when I was in the church. They're more of a fullness of happiness. So they spoke words of truth, but false truths to get you to be enslaved. The words I'm saying are to let you be set free, not to be enslaved into those words that they've used. So if they trigger you, I apologize. They're not meant to. I'm saying what I have to say from my heart that I relate to now with what I've been affected by. But now I'm a better individual. Now I'm a better person and a better being. So that's who I am now. So here we go. So your whole soul, spirit can be and more. So whatever you feel you are, even if you're not a spirit, even if you're not your energy of some form is how I see it, but you may see it differently, and that's okay. Whatever you feel you are, organism, whatever, or you don't want to define yourself because you don't know, that's fine. I don't really, even though I define myself as things or say as though I am, I'm really not. Because I know it's multiple meanings without any meaning really. And they say that in ancient texts. They say we really have no name, even if we say we have names, or even if we're called names. We're really just everything, and everything's us. And they just, to them, they're just chill. Whatever is. They don't try to define what, they know that there's a purpose and there's a way of being, because that's what they are. But they're not pushy about it in the way that I've experienced. The ones that made them seem pushy are the ones of men and people that saw them that way, that spoke to them and wrote in scriptures as though they are, and define them as what they say to try to please the people that want to see them that way. And they just let them see them that way. But that's not what they were meaning to come across. Some of them did mean to come across it for their own entertainment, because that's what they wanted for their path. And they were not good beings, and they didn't claim to be. And so those are just beings of us that wanted to have that form of being over us. But there are other beings that are not that way of those beings, that are separate forms of those beings, that may be higher forms or balanced forms with them that are just a different half of them. But then the higher form above them is a combination of all of them, is how I see it as a possibility, or it's how they want us to see it as, even if it's not that way. So I don't know, but I'm seeing many versions of ways and possibilities, and it's just overwhelming for some to see all of that. And for me, it is too. All I really want is to heal my health and to have happiness, and then whatever is will become the way I feel drawn to at the time. And I'll become more and have more knowledge at that time. Right now, I just want to be healed in this life, have the health, have the wealth, or just die and do the new life path. If I, just let me rest. Let me not be in pain anymore. Physical, spiritual, or mental. I don't really have a lot of mental irritations as much as I did. As I'm talking right now, it's more of physical pain that I'm feeling right now. I want that gone. And that's why I bring this up. This is part of the healing. And so I may need to rest here and there when I feel I need to. But let's go on to some new stuff. Okay, so here we go. So I've Sam Durbridge. We'll start off with that on page 17. Need to drink some water here. So, that's okay. So I am Sam Durbridge. I'm going to start with, just a moment. There's some manifestations going on right now with people that are listening and creating things, so that's okay. See, I don't react to them, and even if I do, it's okay. We don't need to worry about reacting or not reacting. We just need to learn to get to what we feel we need to. Being honest and being okay being flawed or being messed with is just a part of focus of greatness that will help us get on track and protect us from those that do that to us. Will happen too. So that's the great about the balance. So I'm going to start with page 17. So I am Sam Durbridge. So I am Sam Durbridge, starting off saying, I hope you enjoy what you learn as well as what you have learned. And if not, I want you to know I believe in you. I recommend you for all that you choose to do for others, lives, and all the times that you have done things for. Those less fortunate at times, or those you think are less fortunate. I say to them also, I believe in you and care for everyone regardless who, what, or when, and where you come from. I believe in creation, and I believe that we all are what we choose to see ourselves as through our thoughts, actions, as well as experiences. This recording will actually probably be short, just because I'm feeling I need to rest a little bit. So I'll just read until page 18, and then we'll just do a new recording for the book overview chapter. So this will probably be close to an hour, or a little bit over an hour. So also know whatever you want to believe in. I believe you have the car, the house, the relationships, and all those dreams and ideas are reality instantly right now. In my eyes, those dreams and ideas are reality instantly now, or instantly right now. In my eyes, for you, I don't need to know the details of what it is you want, because I know you know what that is, as long as you believe in you and believe in others. So that's just, I'm seeing a lot of figurative things. So in my eyes, there's more of in my heart and focus and awareness. I just see you having what you feel you want to have. And I still agree with that. I still see that in that and feel that way, but even more so. I feel it, see it, say it, and create it. And I'm willing to do that with you. And I know it can. And I know it can work more when you just actually work with me, but if not, it will still work if you feel you need it that way. Whatever way you feel you need it in, I want you to have it in that way. I even if I doubt a little on the way that approach, forgive my doubt, and I hope you get in the way that you're hoping to do it in. I feel that I need, for me, to have it in a different pattern for me would be better, but for you, that's great. I do feel a little jealous if it happens for you, and I'm not going to apologize for that jealousy. It is an energy, but I don't want it to affect you. I don't mean it for any delay for you or me. I do desire what I desire because it matters for me, but I am grateful that you're getting it. Even the lack of gratefulness, I actually do want you to be okay. And I'm great that you don't need to do it. But if you feel you do and you get back to where you feel you need, you're welcome to get a hold of me and we can do it together. I think it's more powerful when you do it 2 to 3 to 4 people together, but 2 people doing it together is great. Or your thoughts of me believe for others is great too, because I do want that for you. Also, I am by you fully, and if you falter, I still believe you will pick yourself up and keep going. That's what it is to become more and grow as a creation. Totally agree. So with no further ado, is what I meant to say. I don't know how to spell that. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. I say to you, believe, have belief, and you have achieved your dream reality for you. And it will keep changing and growing to your full extent of belief. And I have belief in you, with you, I believe with you. So know that and recognize we are not alone. So what I mean by that is we're not alone. Back then, I was probably saying multiple things, and I know that I was. I was saying that you have belief. I had belief back then, and I have belief now. Back then, I had belief in you, that you're not alone by spiritual forms or beings that existed, that I had belief existed possibly. I just wasn't sure what that was. I may have felt one way and held to it out of fear, but I did have the same belief that I do now, where I have belief that we have some form of energy watching over it, even if it's just us as a future form, or just as the current in the moment form, as the future, past, and present of whatever we are or will be. Even if there is none, I have belief in you at this time in life and then, but I have more of an unconditional belief with you now, and I did my best to be that way back then and forgive my lack back then. And I forgive my lack back then because I was okay back then. And I did what I felt needed, but I was in pain. And now I'm in less pain than I was then. And saying that is healing my pain right now. And so I'm grateful for that. So we are not alone, meaning I know that we're together in it. We're working together in whatever form or way is, and multiple beings hopefully are there too. And if they're not, at least we are. Our energies are. And that's how I see it now. But I do hope for the more. And I don't know, but I hope and feel and have seen as though there might be. And I know that being is okay for me not seeing it or understanding it, because they told me at that time. And I'm okay with that. And they're okay with that. And they want to help as much as we're able to allow that help in. And they want us to forgive their lack of ability, if they have any, even with their full ability of awareness. But I've been shown that there is no lack. We're okay. We're all okay, if we want to be. And so it is. So that's great. So I was told that we can make it happen faster when we come together and do it together, but at least do it ourselves is what matters from our heart. So if you want to know more about, and this is the last paragraph on page 17, if you want to know more about what I mean about believing in your dream, or belief in your dream, check out the Law of Attraction chapter, as well as Brain Thought chapter, and To the Point chapter, and my Concept chapter, where I provide ideas to help us meditate or pray or do what the many shows, and even I believe or have belief Disney himself knew worked. Well, yeah, I still question about Disney a little bit, because I believe that he was possibly CIA and doing it, but he had some good messages with it, so I'm not concerned. I just don't accept any evil form of energy that may have been part of that, if there was any. Himself knew worked. So, as you believe or have belief, you achieve everything you want and need. For I believe or have belief, most wants or also needs for happiness, for your hopes of a better life and salvation. As long as we are there for one another with true belief in faith, in each other, in everything that is wanted and needed for survival of both physical, mental, spiritual, and beyond all our dreams. And the mental and the emotional and feelings is one. The chapter 10 chapter, I recommend go there. I don't say that in here, but I'm saying it now. Maybe I say it in the next page, I don't know, but I'm saying it now. So as long as we are there for one another with true belief in faith in each other, I'm glad I said belief there, belief in each other, in everything that is wanted and needed for survival of both physical, mental, spiritual, and beyond all our dreams, I see them as now achieved for you and me. I like that. I've said it really well. Now I go back to saying believe. That's okay. So I believe you as you believe with me. So I have belief in you as you have belief in me. That's a better way to put it. With me in me and you and all beings for our eternal bliss. If you don't understand why I'm correcting some of these sayings, it's because words are spells and spells are words, and there are words within words. And so I don't worry about the negative words as much, but I try to correct if it needs to have a good vibration better than a bad vibration for those that want that. I prefer that to a degree, but I don't expect that I'll be perfect at that or expect that I'm going to be not flawed in it, because there are flaws in there, but I don't worry that it's been done. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be perfect at that in the future with things that I write or do, but I'll do my best. That I feel is my best, that I feel comfortable doing. And if I'm fully healed, I'll be able to do it better and correct it faster, even if I fail at it. Failing isn't a problem unless it's something that you keep on doing to cause pain to yourself or others. But if it's accidentally done, I don't think it's really a big deal. We just need to heal it and get it over with, not live within the pain forever. Just recognize it, deal with it, get strong with the pain, heal the pain as the pain is there, and get through it. So everything mentioned below is not in order of chapters, more of the overview of what the book is about and intended to explain, as well as questions I will ask that those who believe or have belief in the alien agendas or understanding of the species, as well as what I feel need to be asked that I am not sure anyone has asked, or at least not yet. And actually, I would say I will ask that those who believe or have belief, either or, because believe is a good word here to mention in the alien agenda, because believe is knowing that it's evil or good. So I would say believe or belief when I said that sentence. By the way, I'm on page 18. In the alien agenda or understand in the first paragraph area, kind of at the top, middle-ish. So in the alien agenda or understanding of the species, as well as what I feel need to be asked that I am not sure anyone has asked, or at least not yet. Also, I'm going to ask new stuff. Okay, I'll probably ask new stuff if I feel I need to. I may not, because I may know. But I'm not going to do much rhetorical like I did back then. I wanted to do rhetorical because others were doing rhetorical, but I don't really need to do rhetorical. I will do some, but it's more authentic rhetorical thing, and it's not really to be sarcastic or rude. It's more of what I know I see that I question, but I kind of already know it, so it's self-explanatory, and I'll say it like that, or similar. But I don't really need to do that anymore. I'm going to ask what I want to ask. What I really prefer to focus on is, why is it no one wants to meditate and manifest destiny with me and others? Why are you stopping that? That's the only question I have. That doesn't make sense to me. But now I also know that you're going to do what you're going to do, so it doesn't matter why me asking that or not. It's going to happen when it happens, and I hope it happens sooner than later, and that's going to be up to people to decide. So let's just do it, and that's your choice. And if not, I'm going to do it either way, and I'm going to do it even if nothing occurs from it. I know something has. It's a perspective that people will stumble upon and finally do for themselves, even if I don't complete it, which I am completing and have completed a lot of it. Even if I don't, I meant to. And if I don't and I die and there is no other realm or life, then great. Then I'm rested. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. So anyway, there you go. I do respect all info out there, and I will tell you all right now as you read this book that this is my research, interpretation, and I would hope you would research it yourself. If you feel you want to know more than what I've talked about, I recommend to go research those subjects. If you don't feel I gave accurate understanding again, this is my interpretation of what I've witnessed. I recommend all people to research more on anything I talk about so that you can be drawn to what you need and want for your life and others' lives, needs and wants. Either way, this book is something I felt passionate to write about, and I feel it's a calling that I was meant to have. I'm all about solving things in my life and to help others who have ignored or have been ignored. This is my purpose, and I am proud to have stumbled upon this world of secrets and miracles. So with no further ado, please read my introduction of subjects mentioned in my book below. Remember, it's not all in order. Okay, so the book overview is going to be pretty long, so I'm just going to do that a whole new recording. I wasn't going to do that, but I decided because of my pain and feelings right now, I need to relax. But I'm going to do a whole recording of that. So I wanted to tell you that all of that information that I just mentioned was mostly, I felt that I needed to write what I wrote out of a reason to feel some form of support. And now me letting it known, even if I don't get any support from people, I'm doing my own support now. I've supported myself or get others that I feel will support me in the things I need to be supported in some form of help that are offered or able to be there for me. And I'll get what I can get. But I know that I'm meant to have more. And so I'm explaining it so that people know that they will have more too. And that you're able to do more, and I can help you do more if you reach out to me. If you don't, you can still do it, whoever you feel drawn to, but be safe who it is. Even if you reach out to me, I'm not going to answer all your questions or provide all your answers possibly, because I don't know what you went through, what you deal with individually, and you don't know fully what I went through. But I would hope you'd understand that I have gone through a lot, and I know you've gone through a lot in your own way, but I don't want you to have to go through what I've gone through because it's horrible. But if you knew what I went through, you wouldn't be hesitating, and you would be right now talking to me and working with me if you are a really heartfelt individual and could relate. And that's why I want to reach out and do it with you, because I do relate that I know it's important for both of us or all of us to do it for each other. We all should be doing this for each other. But it's not telling you that you shouldn't do what you feel is. If you feel that you should, follow your path. Don't let me tell you otherwise. You are the one that chooses for yourself. But I'm not telling you to force me or to stop me from saying what I feel needs to be said. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but it's not meant to harm or to push you in any direction. It's to give insight and awareness of what I went through and have seen so that you can be safe and be aware of it, so that if no one else tells you, you'll have knowledge from me, so that when it happens and you see it, you'll be able to know how to respond to it better, hopefully. But respond to it in a way you can handle as well. But make sure that you're not compartmentalizing it or controlling it in your way of form to hide it from others, thinking that no one will believe you in order to save yourself and let others suffer. Don't let others suffer if you can help them. Do what you can to help them, but be safe regardless. But it's going to be up to you. But there's shows that I watch that sometimes I get really irritated that, like even in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where she just lets a child blow up when she says, no, don't do that. But then she walks away and says, you need to get someone to give you a photo of her, talk to you. And then she just leaves him alone, but she doesn't explain what's happening to him. And so she should have explained what's going on to him, because she could have saved his life, even if he chose not to listen to it and call him crazy or call her crazy. She may have at least gave him an extra chance to survive. She could have said, hey, your head's going to actually explode if you think too hard about your studies. So relax a bit and have people do it. But I mean, not figuratively. You're on a hellmouth. You're on a scary place, and things happen here. And it's good for you to know where you're at. Also, I'm irritated that the people in Sunnydale or in that area or school that know things are going on didn't explain to everybody that you're on a hellmouth, you're on a dangerous place, so we need to handle it emotionally okay. But at the same time, knowing it's a hellmouth, some people might do it and utilize it wrongly. So it is kind of a catch-22 there. But I think it's better to know it than not to know it. And people are going to do what they're going to do. Some are going to do bad and some are going to do worse. But at least people finally know. And that's what I feel about it. Disclosure about what's really going on and what's really being abused by us. Then the peaceful ones can stop the enslavement ones that are keeping us enslaved. By letting us being aware of the enslavement frees us from full enslavement that we're already in, or some form of direction of full enslavement. So that's why we need full disclosure of knowledge of what's among us, that there are human ETs that I know are among us. And if they are among us, then we need to let it be known. We need to sign petitions like Richard, I think his name is Richard, but this really great guy that's friends with Coley UFO. I don't know if that's her name now, but she's a friend of mine, at Coley UFO or at Durbin Samuel on Twitter. They're on Twitter friends that I know, and he has a petition, and I brought up that petition on Twitter before on my at Durbin Samuel, and I'll do it again after I posted all these book recordings. I'm going to post this on my Twitter at that time because I brought this up on these recordings. I'm going to say I brought this up on my book recordings. Go to my book, and the overview chapter or the chapter introduction one on page 15 will explain it. So this is the chapter 15 one, or not chapter 15, page 15 to 18 one that explains all that. Now, on my next recording, I'll do it on chapter book overview, which is not a chapter, it's just book overview chapter, and that's on page 19. I consider that a chapter, but it doesn't say that it's a chapter. It just says book overview as the chapter page or the title of that page or that chapter. So there you go. So I care about you. I have belief in you. So go towards what it is. But regardless whether I'm saying you have to feel great about me having belief in you. Have belief in yourself. You don't need to have belief in me or others. Just have belief in you and do what you feel is needed. It is important to have belief with others because it helps feel good while you're feeling good for them, if that's the focus you want. It's good to help other lifetimes if we're other lifetimes. So I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's up to you. But it's really good to be there for others if you feel okay to. Okay? When you're ready, do what you feel you need to do for you. Do that first. But if you need a friend, if you need someone to help you or a minister, reach out to me. My phone number is 801-499-4494. My email is durbinsamuel@gmail.com. If I need to do another email, I'll put another email there. But if you can't get a hold of me and you call me and I can't call you, it's not going through. Well, guess what? I have a blocker on there. You'll have to text me or email me. But maybe you just need to let it go to the voicemail or give it enough time or something and then leave a voicemail. Regardless what happens, let me know. Try to contact me. Maybe put comments on YouTube and say, hey, I tried. I'll say, oh, okay, well, this is what you do. Some people might say it and be liars and tricksters, and so I won't know if they're telling the truth or not. But I'll always say, I'm here now. You can call me if I have your phone number. You can reach me and private message me at Twitter, at Durbin Samuel at Twitter. And it could be if you're not able to contact me at all, it's because someone's blocking you from being able to. So start meditating, start praying, start thinking positive, and asking for your higher self to protect you. And then you'll get drawn to me, and maybe your higher self is my higher self, and our higher selves will communicate if that's the case, and you'll be able to get to me. But I hope you do. But be safe. Know that if we can't communicate or you're not able to, my heart is with you, and I'm sorry that's happening. I don't know why. And if I do know why, I would tell you if it was an individual. And some of you know why, and you're asking why with knowing why. But some of you may think you know why, and it's not really what you think. And I am more open to everybody, even those that hate me or don't like me or make up stories about me or perceive me differently than what I perceive myself as. And I've told them, I forgive you, it's okay. Let's just, if you really want to meditate, then you'll find me. It'll happen. Or you'll find someone that can do it better than I could. Maybe there's a reason why. But regardless of the reason, good or bad, just know that my heart is with you. And I'm hoping we can. And however, in whatever way we can. Okay? So, there we go. I also recommend listen to Greg Braden information, listen to other stuff, get Himalaya salt, get Celtic salt, put it in your house and everything, in your corners, and be drawn to where you feel you need to put it in, and barriers or whatever way, walkways, so that it affects them in whatever way you feel you should. And try not to be too paranoid about it, but don't worry if you're paranoid. Don't do it in a safe manner of paranoia. Please don't get overly worried or overly freaked out. If you are, find things to make you feel peaceful and happy. Get the healing you need. And if you can't get there, I hope you get there in another way with someone that can, if you can't get to me. But I think you can. I believe that you'll be able to get a hold of me if you really want to. And I hope you do. And if you're not and you're being controlled, I'm with you. There's some control things happening, and that have happened to me. I hope it's not worse than what I've gone through, or just as bad. I just hope we can get to each other in time. So let's hope and pray and focus in whatever form we can that we feel comfortable doing it. I don't recommend to be part of a religion personally. When I say pray, I mean energy, thought, feeling, prayer. And if a deity does answer, it's an unconditional deity that I focus on. I don't like the conditional belief of praying to them, because I don't believe that they're the right beings to believe in, even if they are the ones. I don't like it. I don't accept it, and it's wrong. And so that's how I see it in, unless I'm to be told otherwise by those beings without being forced or hurt by it, or enslaved by it. And so I'm against any form of enslavement, even spiritual enslavement. It's wrong. But some people might want to be in those realms. And if they want to be in those realms, great, you're in those realms. But if you really don't want to, and there's a better realm, you'll be in the better realm. Okay? That's how I see it. Whatever it is. So there we go. That's what I'm about. I'm a very confusing individual, but I'm a very well-rounded individual is how I see myself as. More than I ever have. I didn't feel that way before, but I do now. So there we go. We're free. Now, thank you. I appreciate and I love and appreciate all of you. And now everything is what we want it to be. I bless you. I feel ya. Let's get moved on to the new form. Thank you for all that you've done. And for those, again, that want to reach me out for my ministry, to marry or do stuff for that, ceremonies or things, I'm new to it, so I may need to do practice runs, and I may need funds to be able to do things you want me to. If it requires me to travel somewhere I may not feel comfortable, you may have to come to me, or you may have to fund me to get there, like a GoFundMe for me to get there. So thank you, appreciate you, and there you go. Let's do what we can. Appreciate you all. And it is now 1 hour and 25 minutes, but you'll probably have some other intros, and it will be a slideshow for this recording. But I don't know if this will be my shortest recording or not. There might be shorter recording. Hopefully there is. But regardless how long it is, I said what needs to be said, and the book overview might be a little longer, but it may not. It depends on how I feel. If you manifest it to be shorter than it, but thorough, the way that I feel is thorough, then great, it will be. But let's let it be as long as it needs to so that the real information can come out. But that will be from page 19 to 28. And then chapter 1 will be page 29. And I don't know if I'll do a combination recording. I probably won't. From now on, I'm probably just going to be doing the chapters separate from each other unless I feel otherwise. Unless the chapters are short enough that I can put them together. I think I'll try to keep them short so that we can break up the chapters. So that's what we'll probably do for now. Unless I say otherwise in my other recordings. So listen up, be prepared, and have fun. And I appreciate all of you. And if you're not having fun, whatever. This is just my story. This is my focus. The fun I want to do is create a reality. So that's when I manifest and focus. But this is me giving my story. And the more I tell my story, the more disclosure happens. And I know that it does. So thank you for your time. Focus on peace. Focus on happiness. Focus on fun. And then my videos and things will be more fun. Be more appealing in the way that you need to have it in, and that others will. And then there you go. But this isn't meant to try to please others or not please others. It's to inform what I'm about so that my legacy and my information can be heard, so that it's told, and so that I can free the pain and lack of knowledge out of me, get it all out of me, and tell it all told correctly. So there you go. Appreciate y'all. It's 1:45 p.m. on Thursday, February 20th, 2020. Thank you. Take care. Bless you all. Your realities and desires already happened, already happened, already happened, already done, already done, already done. Now, now, now.